Hi, and welcome to this quick little class. This is not your normal hip class. This is much more about movement into the hip. So it's going fairly fast, but we're really kind of getting those hip joints warmed up. So I want you to start in a seated Baddha Konasana. So bottom of your feet come together, and you have some space between your heels and your crutch. And sit up nice and tall, and take a moment to close your eyes. Breathe through your nose, just slowing the breath down. Try and sit up nice and tall. Get that breath into your belly. And then start moving your torso. You're going to start circling your torso. It's a little bit different normally. We're in easy pose, not Baddha Konasana. Move slowly. Still try and get that movement into the spine. But obviously, you're also getting a little bit more into the hips. Change direction. Go the other way. And come to center, cross your shins, make your way onto all four. Come into your cat-cow. Just going with your own breath. Add whatever needs to be added. You're just waking up the body, getting ready to move. And come to a nice neutral spine. Lift your left knee out to the side and start circling that knee. Now make it big. I often say when I teach classes, I say make a big circle, and I see people doing this. No. Big circle. Imagine you got a pen attached to your knee and you're trying to make the biggest circle you can. That's the movement I'm looking for. Change direction. Go the other way. And come to center, other side. Big circles. Change direction. And come to center, tuck your toes, lift up into a downward facing dog. You can walk it out. It's finding the pose. Remember, it's okay that your heels are not on the mat. It's okay that you keep some bend in your knees, whatever's working for you today. And then lift your right leg up. And then try and keep the leg straight. You're going to take it out to the side and back, and bend the knees, stack the hips. Straighten the leg, take it out to the side, back, bend the knees, stack the hips. One more time, straighten, take the leg out to the side and back. Set it back down, other leg, left leg up, take it out to the side, back, bend the knee, straighten, take it out to the side and back. Last time, take it out to the side and back and bend. Set it back down, walk your feet to the front of your mat. A little wider than you would normally do in a ragdoll forward fold, so almost to the edge of your mat. Now put your feet almost to the edge of the mat. Put a little bend in your knees. Grab opposite elbow. And then I just want you to put some sway into it. So a little bit more movement than you might normally do. Release your elbows. And then roll up to standing. Reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Step back to plank pose, move through your vinyasa. Meet in down dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Step forward, come into a warrior one. Strong back leg. Reach your arms up. So remember, we're sending energy to the back foot to make ourselves a little lighter on that front foot, or in that front knee. And then interlace your hands behind you. Roll your shoulders back, open up your chest. Come into a humble warrior. And keep this humble warrior. I want you to lift the back heel off the mat, get onto your tippy toes, and then lower the back knee while you're still in this humble warrior. Untuck your back toes, and you're going to move your butt back, 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 until you lower your butt onto that back heel. And then release your hands. Come up to seated. You're sitting on your heel. Place your hands behind you. Open up your chest. And then bend that right knee. Place the foot flat on the ground. And you're going to lift up into a one-legged reverse tabletop. So lift your butt up. Lift that left leg. Straighten it. Lift, 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 lift. Squeeze your butt. And then take your left knee to your chin. Move your butt back and down. You end up in seated. Left knee's bent. Lift your left foot. Take it to the outside of your right thigh. Place your left fingertips behind you. Reach your right arm up. Exhale, twist. Sit up nice and tall, so make sure you're not collapsing that spine. Change your gaze to go over your left shoulder. Untwist. And then I want you to lean over onto your right sit bone so you can bend that right knee and come into cow face. Trying to stack the knee. If this is too much, you can always just have that left foot as it was. Try and ground both of your sit bones. And I want you to add a little bit of movement here. So just gently move from sit bone to sit bone. Get a little bit of movement into your hips here. So you're really working those outer hips. It's a sassy little class. We're like, ooh, get a little cool movement in. You should put a playlist onto this. And come to center. I want you to lift that top leg up, the left foot, and take it out to the side. Take your right leg out to the side. You guys guessed it. Can you lift up into a Skandasana? I know you know me. And if you're swearing at me, that's okay. Remember, you can always use your hands. We are aiming to do it without your hands. If it's not working for you, that's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. Lift up. And then I want you to step that left foot in. You're going to come into a goddess pose. Take your hands to your heart. Again, you're just going to add some movement. Sink into it. Bob up and down. And I want you to lift your right heel. Get up on your tippy toes. And then turn that right knee in. And back out. And lift the other heel up, turn in and out. And we're going to repeat that. Right, left, and right, and left.
Hands to the mat. Walk your hands to the front. Step back to plank pose. Move through your vinyasa. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, step forward. Come into your warrior one. Interlace your hands behind you. Open up that upper chest. Humble warrior. And again, you're going to lift the back heel off the mat. Lower the back knee. Untuck your toes. Move your butt back. Come sitting onto that heel. Place your hands behind you. Bend your left knee. Foot flat on the ground. And lift up. Reach the right leg up. Reverse tabletop. Lift, 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 lift. Take your right knee to your nose. Move your butt back. Come to seated. And then take that right foot to the outside of the left. Right fingertips to the mat. Lift your left arm up. Exhale, twist. And again, remind yourself to sit up nice and tall. Untwist. Lean over onto the left sit bone. Bend that left knee. Come into your version of cow face or cow face legs. Try and ground your sit bones, stack your knees, and again, gonna add some movement today. Gently moving from side to side. Come to center. Lift that right leg up and take it all the way to the outside. Straighten your left leg. Lift up into Skandasana. Lift up. Come into your goddess. Again, put some movement in. And then lift that left heel off the ground. Turn the leg in and out. Other side. Back to the left and right. And left and right. Hands to the mat. Walk them to the front, step back into a downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the mat. And if you have a blanket, grab a blanket. Otherwise, you can turn your yoga mat up, double up like this, just to a little bit of extra support for your knees. But if you have a blanket, make it nice and long. Maybe even fold it over. I feel like I like a lot of support for my knees. You're going to take your knees as wide as you can. Come onto your forearms. And then take your legs or your feet out to the side. You see my toes are pointing out to the sides. A little bit wider than my knees. And then gently play with moving your hips back. Frog pose. And again, I want you to put a little bit of movement into it. And it might just be gently bobbing back and forth. You can also try and add a little bit of cat-cow movement, kind of turn it into a little twerking session almost. Whatever feels good. This is can be a very intense pose, so pay attention. Don't add too much movement. Don't add anything that's painful, not working for you. Just because I say it doesn't mean you should do it. You get to listen to your body always. Again, I hope you got an awesome playlist on. That's something to put a bit of movement to. Let your feet come together. Get up onto your hands and move back. And then come on to seated. And lower down onto your back. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh and grab your left thigh, come into reclined pigeon. And gently try and move a little from side to side. So again, it's not a huge movement, but we're still moving. Just lean over to one hip and then the other. And release. Come over to the other side. Again, if the pose is not too intense for you, add a bit of movement. And release. Hug your knees to your chest. And come into your Shavasana. And maybe you're taking Shavasana in a reclined Baddha Konasana. If that feels right or good, do that. Otherwise, just normal Shavasana, lie flat down. Relax your breath, your body. As always, you're going to stay as long as you need, which is probably a little longer than you want to when you're practicing yoga at home. I think we're so good at skipping this part. So make a conscious effort to take that time to be still. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.